In Creo Parametric, there are files associated with family tables called instance index files and instance accelerator files. Before we go into those, let's briefly review the concept of family tables. Here I am in Creo Parametric. I have set my working directory. If I go to the Open button, I will see the contents of that working directory. I have a part called doublelink.prt. It is the generic of a family table. It is the base model from which the different instances were created. The other contents of the folder are the instances. You can tell that because they have the name of another model in the angle brackets. My instances have the names, the letters A through I. So let's open up the generic model. I'll click on Open. I get a Select Instance dialog box where I can choose to open up the generic or one of the different variations. I'll click the Open button. And here we can see our base model from which the different variations were created. If I go to the Model Intent Overflow menu, I can choose Family Table, and here are all the different variations. I will select one of the variations and then click the Open button. And here you can see that this one is a bit stubby. It is a lot shorter. Let me go back to the generic, and I'm going to open up one of the other different instances. Let me grab this one. When I click on the Open button, you can see that this one is much longer. It's a real long one. So anyhow, these are the different instances of the generic model. And the point of creating a family table is to make lots of different variations of a base model, but they're all stored within one single file. To show that, let me jump over to Windows Explorer. Here I have Windows Explorer for my working directory, and you'll notice that there are only two different objects in here. Yet when I go to File Open, here we can see a whole bunch of different objects. Let me cancel out of here. And to illustrate the point, I'm going to go to my navigator, and then go to the folder browser, and then show my working directory. So here you can see what is listed when I am inside of Creo Parametric. Let me go back to Windows Explorer. But again, according to Windows, there are only two different files here. There is the original generic, doublelink.prt, and then .2 is for the iteration of the file. And then we've got this other file, link.idx. This is the instance index file. It is automatically created whenever you save the generic, and it's a list of all the different instances for all the different family tables within this particular folder. You'll notice that its name is the same name as the folder. And the .idx, well, that's the file extension for the instance index file. There are a couple different ways that you can control the display of the different instances. When you are taking a look in the folder browser and then go to the Tools drop-down menu, there's this option here to show instances. Similarly, if I go to File Open, inside of this dialog box from the Tools drop-down menu, you have the same option for showing the different instances in the File Open dialog box. That, by the way, is controlled by a configuration option. I will go to File and then Options, Configuration Editor, and then if I go to the Find button, let's type in as our keyword instances and hit the Enter key. I'm going to make this dialog box a little bit wider so it's a little easier to read the description inside of here. The second option is Menu Show Instances, and the default value is yes, and that determines whether instance names listed in index files appear in file lists. So that is the instance index file, and it's automatically updated whenever you verify a family table and then save it. Let me close out of here and cancel. You can also update it manually if you go to the File drop-down menu and then Manage Session, and here is the Update Index command. Okay, so that is for the first kind of file. I'm going to go up a directory level and change to one of my other different subfolders. And here we can see all the contents of a particular folder. Here you can see that we have a bunch of instances indicated by the name of a generic model inside of angle brackets. We also have that for a few different subassemblies. We have apparently a generic assembly called armature end item. Also, we have another generic part called armature bar. And then we have another generic assembly called armature. So those are the different contents. Okay, let me go back to Windows Explorer so that we can compare the contents of the folders that we're looking at. Okay, let me go up a directory level and then go to my armature folder. Well, there's a lot fewer files listed in here compared to what I see in Creo Parametric. Hey, let's go to that Tools drop-down menu and turn off the display of instances. I'm going to go back to Windows Explorer. And now that we can see it, there are a few other additional files in here. We can see that we have our instance index file. Again, it is the name of the directory folder followed by .idx. But there are these other files here, .xpr and .xas. Those are indications of accelerator files. The .xpr extension is a part instance accelerator file, and the .xas extension is for an assembly instance accelerator files. And the idea behind this is that when you want to open up an individual instance, well, they're not stored as their own individual files, so Creo Parametric has to retrieve the generic and then look up the line for the individual instance and then figure out what to change and then regenerate the model to bring up that particular instance. You can speed up the process by saving these instance accelerator files. Let's see how that happens. So here in Creo Parametric, let me go to the File drop-down menu, and then I will go to Options once more, and then we have Environment. Inside of here, there is the Instance Creation options, and there's an option checked here to create instance accelerator files upon instance storage. So if you save an instance, you can create one of these accelerator files. You can check that option or uncheck it, and it's checked by default. From the drop-down list, we have 3 different choices for when those accelerator files are stored. The choices are always, explicit, and saved objects. And there's a little bit of nuance between these 3 different choices. The first one I'll go over is explicit. And with explicit, what that means is that if you open up an individual instance in its own separate window and you hit the File Save button or File Save a Copy, that will end up creating that .xpr or .xas file. The other option that you have here is always, which does the same thing that explicit does, except if you save a higher level model like an assembly that contains that particular instance, it will also create that instance accelerator file. And then here is the default option that is called saved objects. And that means if you save an instance that you have open in its own separate window and it hasn't failed its verification, then it will save that instance accelerator file. And as I'm hovering over these different options, you'll notice in the tooltip it says Save Instance Accelerator. Well, that's because you can have these options set through a configuration option. Let me go to Configuration Editor and then hit the Find button. And for the keyword, I'm going to type in accelerator and hit the Enter key. And there are 2 different options that come up in here. So here's that Save Instance Accelerator. If I go to the drop-down list, we have the same 3 choices that we had before from the drop-down list. There's also the option None, which will end up unchecking that option to save the instance accelerator file from the environmental options. The other option that we have here is to update the accelerator file in Verify. The default value is no. What that means is that if you have an instance accelerator file, well, whenever you verify the family table, it'll see if there are any differences, and then it'll go and save that accelerator file for the changes that were made. one other option that I want to show in here as well. Let me go to the keyword and change it to verify. So we just covered the update, accelerator, and verify, but there's also this option to verify on save by default, which means that whenever you save a model, by default, it's going to want to perform the verify action for your family table. So those are three different configuration options that you should be aware for that. Let me close out of here and then cancel out of here as well. Let me open up one of the files from here. Let me go to the armature end item. Here you can see that we have two different variations, and I'll click on the open button. Let me close that warning about the legacy annotations. So here we can see the model tree for the different objects, and we can see from the name of another object in angle brackets, this one has these different objects are instances of a family table. When I go back to my folder browser, let me go to the working directory. Oops, let me go up. Didn't change my working directory. Let me go to another folder. Okay, if we see in here, there are objects that do appear as instance accelerator files. So for example, this 00942 and also this 0093X, they have their own instance accelerator files. But let's go to an instance of an object. So for example, let me go to this shaft tube, and then I'll right click on it and choose open generic. And that way I can get to one of my different variations. I'll go to this 861604 and then click on the open button. Let me close that little warning. And now when I'm inside of here, I'm going to hit the save button. And now when I go back to my folder, let me change over to that folder in which it was saved. I now have an XPR file for this particular object. So since I hit save, I have this instance accelerator file, which will facilitate the ability to retrieve this faster than if I use the regular file open. Okay, a couple other things to mention. If I go to, let me just close this and go back to the assembly. If I go to the file drop-down menu, I can also choose manage file, and here's where you have the instance accelerator option. When I click on this, you have the ability to update your instance accelerators, or you could purge the instance accelerators and remove any invalid ones. Let's close out there. And the last thing to mention about accelerator files, if you are using Windchill, those accelerator files are going to be saved as secondary content for your different objects. If you go to the name of the object within Windchill, it'll be available on the Content tab underneath Attachments.